What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to a brand new video on the LFG Podcast channel. And today is the anticipated day. We have sat down, we have watched the One Piece live action, and we are here to give our reviews, our thoughts, have an overall discussion of the series, and all of that good fun stuff. So, first off, fellas, how y'all doing today?
Hey man, it's One Piece. I'm happy as hell. Come on.
As you guys can see, I'm not at my usual spot. I'm not at the backdrop here. I got One Piece going on in the background. I am out of town right now. But it's One Piece, so I had to make it work. I had to take the mobile command center on the road. So we ready to go, man. I binged it all yesterday. I think I went to bed like at 2 a.m. Woke up like at 7:30. Hit the road, and now I'm in San Antonio, and we're here for the review. So let's get it. Well, as we usually do, does not leave the fans waiting in anticipation. What's our ratings? Who wants to go first?
I think it's only right that I go first, just because my initial thoughts, I guess, were lower than your guys's. So I guess that only makes sense. I'm gonna just come out and say it, man. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I'm not even gonna lie to you. From start to finish, I really had a good time. I'm not gonna say too much yet. I don't think it was perfect, but if I had to give a rating, I would probably give it a 9. I think it was really strong. Yeah.
Yo, unexpected. Well, okay, then if that's coming from the guy that was like keeping his expectations tapered, that's what a 9, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let me go next then, because we already know Cody was jumping out of his seat, so we'll see. We'll get his rating in a second here. Like I said, I binged it all last night. I took notes. I was showing these guys before we started recording. I took notes, okay? So I am ready to go. I'm ready to start talking about it. But I think my initial rating right now, I'm at an 8. So for you to be at a 9, woo, I'm at an 8. Codes?
All right, let me step in. I'm gonna start off by saying expectation was through the roof, and it exceeded expectation. But I am not a biased fan, which is surprising that you said it, because my rating is also an 8, bro. It's pretty crazy.
Okay, we're on the same page then.
Yeah.
So, Jets at a 9, me and Codes are at an 8. There's you guys' ratings off rip. I think that alone tells you guys should go watch the show. So if you guys haven't seen it yet, go watch the show. Go judge for yourselves. I think they broke the live action anime curse. I think they did it. And from what we've been saying, it took a lot of people. It took the creator himself to come in here and do it. But I think they did it. So you guys go check it out. Be the judge for yourselves. So let's get into it, boys. What did you guys think about the show? What did they get? Let's go with the cons first. Let's get the cons out the way. Let's get the fans they're here for the cons first. Let's get the cons out the way. What did you guys think was the negatives? Like I said, I got my notes. You guys have anything at the top of your head?
I know when we saw the trailer and we saw the Fishman, we were like, yeah, it looks good. But as I'm watching it, and it just started not feeling right to me. It started feeling like I was looking at like a Power Ranger villain. Like that's what they started looking like to me. It didn't give me that same feeling I felt when I saw it in the trailer. Even though it looks the same, it's just after watching it for so long, it didn't sit right. But
I can agree with that. And I think when I was watching the trailer, I was like, that's okay. I think that's as good as you can get. But yeah, bro, like they were really, I don't know what the word, like clay, or I don't know what
that's what
the
I'm
prosthetics.
saying.
Like, the prosthetics were like not that great.
I said Power Ranger villain because they always look crazy. Like that's what it just.
Yeah,
or
so I
the
could
Teenage
see
Mutant
that.
Ninja Turtles 2012 movie, something like that,
Yeah. Staying on the Fishman, they didn't have Hachi, and if I'm not mistaken, that's his name, Hachi Octopus, right?
That's right.
Hachi wasn't in it, so that's one of the cuts. That's obviously one of Zoro's fights. Like he was fighting that was a good fight in the anime, so they cut that from this. So that's a shame to see. I wish we could have seen that fight. Jet, any negatives on Fishman or Codes? Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to add on to that point too. After that fight, Arlong steps in and he grabs Zoro and he cuts his shirt open and he sees his damage. And in the anime and manga, Arlong is like, bro, this man is dead. Like, how is he still alive? Like, what's going on? Like, how did he defeat all my people like this? I feel like that should have been in there, but it wasn't. So, but it's all
Mhm.
good.
As far as cons go, I really don't have much, and that'll play onto my pros. But the only con that I really have is I didn't really buy Arlong, and I I don't think it was how he looked or anything like that, but just from Arlong Park being one of my favorite arcs, I really know the character of Arlong, and I didn't get that from the actor's portrayal. Like I didn't get anime or manga Arlong. And that might be my fault because like I said, that goes into my pros and that'll go into what I talk about a little bit
Yeah,
later.
because I wanted to say something good right now.
But I personally couldn't get over it. I was just like, I don't know, I can't see it.
On the subject of Arlong, because I didn't mind it so much. They obviously took their own liberties, and I understand it from a show perspective. They couldn't go arc to arc to arc because then it would feel weird. So what they decided to do was Arlong be the big bad of the series. Like he's the East Blue guy. He's interacting with Buggy. He's interacting with the crew and doing different things with them. So he was really like the big bad, the ultimate final episode boss, so to speak. What did you guys think about that progression? Like, did you guys mind it?
I see in going through it, like we said beforehand, there was going to be changes. You can't do 8 episodes and get to Arlong without it being changes. And when we had this conversation, we said it's either going to be something good or bad, and I feel like it was good. I like the route that they're taking with it, but just even though we're doing the cons right now, so I don't want to get into that too much, but I will say I did like it.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of like Cody said, I don't want to get into it too heavy either, but like in I guess in the aspect of what they did, it was good because like you said, they took a slight different approach to Arlong. Like it's not totally different from the manga, but there are slight differences. Like I felt like in Arlong's character there was slight differences, but I think it worked for what the vision was.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Well, then let's finish off the cons here because I got a few points here, and I'll just kind of knock them out. That way we can go through them. But did you guys have any other cons before I go through the list here?
I have 2. The first one, I wasn't a fan of how they were handling backstories, but only in the aspect
just reminded
that
me.
They were. Then this is just me, but they would start a backstory and then switch back and forth between the timeline. I don't like that.
Okay.
I want to extend to that because that is a fair point. Obviously, being somebody that's read and seen One Piece anime, their backstories they give the time and effort into those episodes and chapters to making that backstory shine for the however long that they're writing it. But in here, like Jet said, we got snippets to fit what's happening in the current time, and that's what I mean. I wasn't liking it either, but once they got the Sanji, they gave that man. I was like, yo, they gave it to him, bro. But I don't want to get to that yet. Though.
Yeah, sticking on the cons. All of them except Sanji, maybe Nami a little bit. Yeah. They didn't really feel the same. They kind of dropped the ball on that aspect of it. It was just, a little bit rushed, I guess. And I understand. Yeah, you can't give us a full because those would be full episodes, man. Those backstories would be full episodes. So they couldn't do that. So they kind of went the route of 15 minutes total for backstories on each person. So yeah, that was a little bit of a letdown. Your second con, Jet, you mentioned that you had another one.
Yeah. And this one, I wrote it down, but I'm not too sure about it. Only because it's been years since I've seen the beginning of One Piece.
Yes,
I've seen Arlong Park 4 or 5 times, but just that part. But it's been forever since I've seen the beginning. So you could tell me if I'm wrong, but I didn't like what they did with Garp. like it didn't feel like Garp to me, and
We got
like we
too
said,
much
I
Garp.
understand
Yeah.
that could be it too. But I just like I felt like he was a little too like menacing or like too
Oh, you mean
like
his character?
yeah, like
Oh,
and
okay,
I like I
okay.
said we like we said like there was changes to characters and like
Uh-huh.
how they are, but like I don't know if that was I don't because I don't remember, but I don't remember Garp like being like that. Like it was I don't know, like I don't
Off
know if
of
menacing is the right word, but every time Garp was on screen, it just kind of felt like
like Akainu.
yeah, basically, yeah.
From what I remember of early One Piece, Garp was always just chill and laid back. He always had the
Mhm.
dog hat on. He wasn't serious about nothing.
Mhm.
So I think the issue was that we were seeing him too serious early on, but at the same time, this is their form on the story. And I think it's the way that they had it done with Garp, it felt like they were trying to force a story to, I don't know if it's going to end or not, because I feel like there could be a season 2, but it didn't like feel, I don't know how to explain it. Garp just, they threw him in there when he didn't need to be, is what I'm trying to say. Like,
If Arlong was the bad guy of the season, Garp was number 2. Like he was the heavily
Yeah.
involved protagonist, antagonist, so to speak. And going back to Garp, like they showed it maybe a little bit in the anime of him, like Luffy mentioning he wanted to be a pirate and he would knock him upside the head, like, no, you're not going to be a pirate. But they took that aspect of Garp and they ramped it up completely.
Yeah.
Like this man was chasing him to the ends of the earth and like, no, you're not going to be a pirate. So yeah, that was actually one of my cons too. Like I think he was a little too involved, and that did change the character a little bit, and that's maybe why it hurt it. But yeah, that was definitely one of my cons. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say they exaggerated it because, like, obviously we get to his reasoning for chasing Luffy down this whole time, and it's just what he said to Luffy was to make sure that you knew what you wanted to be. Like, like
he knew.
That's
like,
not,
what are we doing?
That's,
he's been telling you this.
That's not, and that's just crazy because that's not how Garp was. Garp to this day would still want him to be a Marine. So I think that's kind of crazy that you show that in Garp's character.
Yeah, we got a lot of Garp, we got a lot of Kobe, and we got a lot of Helmeppo. And I guess we can say that this, because in the anime we get very little of these three. Like,
yes,
it shows a little bit, and then that's it. They're not coming back for like another 100 episodes, 150 episodes, and stuff like that. And they're badasses all of a sudden, or they know how to fight. So I guess this is showing us a little bit of their training and a little bit of their day-to-days and stuff. So I that was okay. That didn't mind it. I didn't mind it too much on that aspect, but it had a little too much on that one. My bullet points that I got here: Shanks losing his arm was really lackluster for me. Like that in the anime, it hit so much harder. It just they didn't do it justice on this one. He's on the boat. The sea monster comes up and he just kind of covers him, takes his arm. You can see it actually at one point flying off and hitting the water. And then after he used his what we know now, obviously they don't know it then, is his Conqueror's Haki. It just like, what do you say, leave or something like that, or you go away now or something like that. And it just didn't hit. It just didn't hit. That I wish it would have been better.
I think it's kind of crazy because they were given the backstory its glory, and then they got to the big core parts of it. And was it really that hard to put Luffy in the water drowning and him being late to save him? Like, that couldn't have been too hard to do. Why did you have to make it different like that? I don't know.
Yeah, that just didn't hit the same, so that's a shame on that one. Another one I got. Go ahead.
Just extensions to Shanks. They keep going. I gotta think about it now. I just had it in my head.
The next bullet point I had here was, and I get it from episode to episode. We're not seeing the in between like we are in the anime, so I understand it to a certain point. But Zoro jumped on board with Luffy almost immediately, like going from episode 1, I think, to episode 2 when they got captured by Buggy and he was tied up and he was getting thrown, the little knives at him, and he was like, "Oh, you're not scared to die?" "No, I'm just not scared of you, and I believe in my captain." Like, it rubs off on you. Like, damn, that was just like quick. Like, just this last episode, he was like barely like, "I'm not sure if I'm with you. I'm not part of your crew," and then he just flipped the switch out of nowhere. Like I said, I attribute that to being episode to episode and not giving us the full time, but that was just a little too fast. Like, we didn't get that connection yet.
As far as what you just said about the time, I don't feel like time was passing. Like, as we thought beforehand, where we're like, they're probably just gonna skip ahead a bunch. Like they didn't. It felt like a fluent timeline. Like days happened. Yeah, like so.
Yeah, it was like a day-to-day thing.
Yeah.
Okay, we're here now. Next day we're going here. So I did like that.
So that's so yeah. So like that going back to the Zoro thing, like that's fast. Like this was the next day. He's
on board. Yeah. So that was a little weird for me. CGI on Buggy's head whenever he was headless was not that great.
I don't think I don't think you saw. There were TikToks of it. It's not CGI. It's like they made the head like out of whatever they made it out of, but it's an actual like object.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever it was, it didn't look right. It didn't look right. So that was just a little bit off. Not that big of a deal, but a little bit off. Luffy's hat, when he got damaged, it got damaged in the front, right? In the show, in this Netflix show, right?
It was the top. Yeah.
Okay, I could have sworn it was from the front, not the top. So if it's the top, okay, cool. Then there goes that point. But I thought it was in the front. So okay, I got to check that again. And then last point I had, I forget the pirate's name. Sanji feeding him, the guy that was starving. Do you guys remember his name?
Can't remember.
I don't remember his name. Yeah, but the pirate that came in, that didn't hit the same either. That was just pretty quick and. So
well, they rushed over it.
I wanted to ask y'all, how did y'all feel? Like, obviously, we knew that Arlong was gonna be at the restaurant, but but how did y'all feel that Don Krieg didn't show up? And you know what I mean? And that altercation didn't happen.
For me, I didn't mind it so much because I like seeing this in different animes and stuff. I would like stuff I wish we could have seen. Like, hey, I wish this character would have been interacted with this character because the main character is just whooping everybody's ass and we don't get to see that. So there's points in different animes, and particularly this one, that I wish they got to interact. So seeing Mihawk and Don Krieg interacting and getting his ass just completely destroyed, I didn't mind it so much. I mean, it was cool.
Yeah, and the reason I say that is because, like you said, they brought the guy that was hungry was a part of Don Krieg's crew. Like, that was the whole plot of that. So why even have that? Obviously for Sanji's plot or to his character, but you got to have Don Krieg with that so you can show, like, the altercation. You can't just do one part and not the other.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole little thing, like I said, and that's another... What point? I forget what point it was. They kind of rushed it. Zoro jumping on board with Luffy, they kind of just rushed it. They glazed over it, and... so that didn't hit too well with me. I think that's all the cons I have. Do you guys have anything else before we get into the pros?
Nah, everything else I have is a pro.
Go for it. You get open it up. Let's tell what did they do good? Because obviously we're high on these ratings, so they did something right. What did they do right?
Let's just call it how it is, bro. This is the best anime live action.
They by far.
They did.
It's not even close. It's
Expectations,
actually not even close.
Yeah, bro. Like, there's no excuse anymore. None whatsoever. And they did their own story to it to an extent. Like, it's a different story. So it can be done.
It worked. It worked. Like we talked about it a little bit. They had a goal in mind for the season. It wasn't episodic. It wasn't arc like the anime was, and obviously they can't do that. So they had a goal in mind for the whole season, and it worked. I think the storytelling was good enough. It carried very well. The acting, the characters were amazing. So I didn't have any issues with this at all.
So I don't know how you guys, because I mean, I'm sure you have a lot of pros just like me. So I don't know. Maybe I can like rattle off like 3 and then we can switch.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So the first one, and this, I guess it's kind of in order because I guess I was writing it down as I was going, but the first one I have is Little Luffy. I thought he was great. Yeah. I thought he was phenomenal. Like, I felt like I was watching Little Luffy from the anime, like just like a brat, just kind of doing what he wants. He goes and gets the fruit. He's talking to adults crazy. He's cussing. I believe it.
I love the cussing in his.
Great. Yes, they were dropping F-bombs and middle fingers everywhere, bro. They let loose. Not completely crazy, but they did it here and there, and it worked. I didn't mind it. It was cool
for sure.
The next one I have is Zoro. I was giving Zoro flack, man, when I first saw him in the trailer. I really was.
I'm glad to hear this now, bro.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to stand on it. I was wrong. I was 100% wrong. Zoro was great. He was amazing. Every time he was on screen, I was like, yes, say something else. Keep going. Like I bought it. That's Zoro, 100%.
Bro, look, to my core, bro. I was trying to show y'all the side by side. That is Earl. That is pre-time skip Zoro to a T.
Yeah.
This man looks just like him, and he, bro, that is Zoro. Like that is Zoro, bro. Like it was perfect, man.
And then the next one I'll do. I love those in between episode logo transformations that they were doing. I thought that was
the
incredible.
posters.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
what are you
that
talking
too.
about?
But
No.
I'm talking about like when the episode was starting, it would say One Piece.
The
It would
logo,
say One
yeah,
Piece.
the Jolly
yeah,
Rogers, bro.
yeah.
They changed. Here, let me go through them real quick because that was part of my notes. The intros were Luffy, obviously the first one. Buggies was the second one.
Yup.
Usopp was the third one. Zoro was the fourth one. The Baratier was the fifth one. Sanji was the sixth one. Nami was the seventh one, and Arlong was the last one, bro. Yeah, those were so
dope.
awesome. I went back because I thought I missed one, and I did miss one. It was the Baratier one. I went back. I was like, hey, I didn't see the logo. I had to go back, bro. Like, let me make sure I see this logo because they were awesome, bro. That was such a good touch on it.
Go
ahead, Cody's, go. Yeah.
Speaking on openings like that, this might sound like a negative, but it's really not. I really wish they had it to be continued at the end of the episodes. That would have been
that's
perfect, bro.
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
man.
they should have done that for sure. They should have done that for sure. So hopefully they can do that in season 2 because, like we said, this is good. I hope it gets more money thrown at it, and they fix the fish man. They fix the other little cosmetics and the little CGIs or whatever they've been doing. They fix it a little bit more because this was done beautifully.
Absolutely.
Going to Cody's point, he brought it up to the bounty posters. Those were freaking awesome and so amazing to see, man. Such a good way to show us these pirates and then how menacing they are and how ranked they're ranking, I guess, in the East Blue in this saga, bro. This was so awesome. I
love them, bro.
I think Alvida showed showed up.
Yeah.
Showed up. You see the bounty poster pop on board. It shows you the number. I think it was like 7 million or 5 million, something like that. 5 million berries shows up, and they interact with it. It's like, they push it out the way. She punched it out the way. Buggy shoot it out the way. Arlong bit his out the way. Like, bro, those were so awesome and a nice touch. I enjoyed that.
And real quick, not to cut you off.
No, you're good.
I thought it was because that's so important, and this is, I don't want to say this yet because it's going to come around to my next 3, but that's so important to early One Piece, like understanding like those posters and like it's such a big thing, like when someone's bounty goes up, like that's just so like in the One Piece like culture, that's just such a big thing. So for them to like show that care about it, it was awesome. I just want to say that real quick.
Pros, you got any pros? Anything to come to your head?
I mean, the whole thing, bro. I just loved it, man. I think Nami was, bro. I can name a bunch of perfect characters. My favorite one is Kuro for sure. That man is a 1-to-1, bro. Was perfect, bro. I was like, yo, that's him. Oh man, I love it.
Going to, I think my favorite. Obviously, I think my favorite, and Naki, bro, just destroyed it. Oda gave him the straw hat for a reason and said, you are the embodiment of Luffy. You're physically Luffy. He obviously destroyed it, man. So, I mean, by far, he's my favorite. I think close second was Sanji, bro. Like, I enjoyed Sanji's performance. It worked for me. His backstory, like we mentioned, his backstory worked, man. You could see him stuck on the rock with Zeph, and it worked. Like, I enjoyed that backstory.
They gave him a full backstory.
Yeah, they did. They spent like 15 minutes on it.
And I sent y'all the text, so I should bring it up now. They used the manga backstory for Zeph's leg. Because in the manga, he eats his leg, bro. It's crazy that they did that.
In the anime, because I'm on the dub again. I'm rewatching not rewatching. I'm catching up on the dub again because I finished the sub. So I'm watching the dub again, and I'm on Whole Cake, and they're obviously going flashbacks on it. And I'm watching this again, and like he's coming up to him. He's like, "What happened to your leg? Where's all the food? You didn't have any food." And then they're kind of insinuating that he ate it, but then they're like, "No." They show the flashback of him. Yeah, and then they actually did it in the live action. I was like, "Oh shit, that's kind of crazy." He ate his leg, so. That was cool. That was cool that they.
I almost cried.
Well, before you get to your 3, since you guys rattled off your favorite characters or your best performances or performance, mine is Mihawk. I
Oh.
like Mihawk in here more than the anime and the manga. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Bro,
Really?
I am not mad at it. Not mad.
100%.
He did
That
his
is
thing.
Mihawk.
He did his thing, bro. That accent.
I'm not mad at it at all. I am on board with it. I think I prefer the anime a little bit more. He has more of like a cocky ego attitude in this, right? And like I said, I don't mind it. I'm on board for it. It was okay for me. It was alright. So that's okay. That's shit. He looks like Mihawk. That dude is Mihawk.
That accent was perfect, bro. Perfect.
Yeah, that's a good shout then. Let me go to my pros. I already mentioned Inaki. We mentioned I think the whole cast. The whole cast. Let's speak on the cast real quick. They did a phenomenal job. The one problem that live actions have is their characters. They decide to change their characters, and that just ruins the whole thing. Like that, it just takes you out of the universe. It's not faithful. And on this one, no, the characters are the characters, and they all did a great job. All of them that were shown, phenomenal. So they did good. I bought every single one of them. I believed all of them. They were all the crew for me. They were all the crew. I didn't have any issues.
I wanted to add, I forgot to mention on Sanji's part. Remember when we had this conversation and I was like, I want to see how he says his goodbye to Zeph and them. And obviously, I don't think it was bad that he did it standing up and he didn't get on his knees. I didn't think that was the issue. My issue was that how he reacted like to Nami in Arlong Park. How, when he opened his arms and he thought she was going to hug him. I felt like that was corny. Like, it felt weird to me. Like, he didn't, you know what I mean? Like, I saw him trying to do it, but it just didn't sit right. But overall...
I didn't mind it.
Yeah.
I think it was fine.
Overall, he played Sanji.
Yeah, like I said, that I think that's my second besides Inaki. That's my favorite one, I think. What else do I get here? The set pieces, like we said this from the trailers, bro. The set pieces, the world were just done beautifully. They were like, bro, that is One Piece. Like, if we can go visit that whole, like, that'd be freaking awesome. That's what exactly what it would be. So I didn't have any issues with the set pieces. They were done so beautifully. The Baratier, to the details inside, to the opening of the fish, and there was a little bar. I don't even know if that's in the anime or in the manga. Like, there's a bar inside the fish. That was pretty cool. Like, I thought that was pretty cool to see. Buggy. For all the hate that Buggy got off that from us too, off the first like the teaser trailer, and we were like, nah, what is this? I think he did a great job. I bought Buggy. He had some funny lines at the end when he finally got his body back together. He said, "I'm out," threw the middle fingers up, and just took off, bro. I thought that was hilarious. So yeah, I was actually pretty surprised by his performance. So I really enjoyed the. Any other pros, Jet?
Yeah. I thought when Sanji was introduced was awesome. That little clip that we saw and how it going further and him stopping those two guys fighting in the restaurant. I thought that was dope. Bro, when Mihawk was introduced and he's on the battlefield fighting, and at the end of it he slices that ship, I lost my shit, bro.
Yeah.
Like, bro, this dude, like,
he's that guy.
Yeah, that was awesome. And then I'm trying to see
a little mention, since we're on Mihawk and we saw him on screen with Don Krieg. I like Don, and I've said this before. I like Don Krieg. He had his little cannons and little bro. I wish we could have seen him a little bit more, because he has cool shit, bro. He has cool stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool. Bro. Yeah, they showed his bounty poster too, I think, right? His flash,
and he crumbled it up and threw it down.
Yeah. So I wish we could have seen him a little bit more, but yeah, because I've always been a fan of Don Krieg. That was pretty cool. So I did enjoy that side of it. The little sword, since we're on Mihawk, the little sword. Cody was like, dang, what did they do with the sword? It's not there. We didn't see it in the trailer. And he used it, right? He used it.
That fight was almost completely accurate, bro. I was amazed at how well they did that, because that little sword, when he pulled it out and stopped his first, I said, bro, it's raps. This is amazing. That was, bro.
Yeah, that was a good fight scene. That was good. The choreography. Did you guys have any issues with the choreography?
No.
On the first teaser trailer, when we were going through it, I was like, the choreography seems a little iffy. Nah, they did. I think I didn't have any issues with it. It was good.
When it came to sword fighting, they put 120% into it, bro. It was perfect. I had no complaints with that at all.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys have a favorite line or joke that made you laugh, but I just wrote this down because when it happened, I was like, I have to remember this and if I don't write it down, I'm gonna forget it. But in Sanji's backstory, when him and Zeph are on the ship,
That's
bro,
it, yo.
when he was like, when Zeph was like, oh, needs oregano. And little Sanji was like, oregano's for savages. And he just that shit was funny.
Bro, that was funny as shit. That little Sanji was hilarious, bro. Oh my god. Yeah,
the jokes I think were good in this one. I don't think there was any corny jokes or some that didn't just land. I had a good time. I had a good time watching. All the jokes were good. I'd say for the pros, any other pros that you guys just absolutely loved?
Oh, I mean, everything was great, man. Like, really.
When Shanks was giving Luffy the hat, I didn't cry, but I was on the brink. That was the only time during the whole series that touched me.
Not Sanji's backstory?
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. That didn't.
I think the build up for me touched me, man.
Okay, I think not on the because we've seen it. The only thing that got a little bit of teary-eyed was the goodbye, and I think it hit a little bit harder in the anime, but I think it did good here. Like they did a good job. Like he saw him and he's like, nah, never mind, and then he calls him out, Sanji, and then they have that little it got me, bro. It did get me. That was really cool to see. He's like, thank you for everything, old man, and I appreciate you. Yeah, that was just good to see. So I think that was the only thing that got some tears out of me. Not tears, but water, yeah.
Yeah.
Any other things?
Nami's backstory. Her sister's black.
Was it not?
A lot of black people.
A lot of black people.
A lot, bro.
What is that guy?
I saw a comment there like, bro, Zoro, you see what color she is? Bro. Nah,
the big dude that eats the turkey leg all the time. He was black. He's not black in the anime, right?
Lucky Roo.
That
dude
was just yeah, he was just eating. Yeah, it was funny. Yasa was.
Yep, that shot off the pole. Oh my god!
Yeah. I was gonna say that was a pro for me. That whole fight scene I thought was amazing.
They miss it.
That scene actually. God, bro. That scene and then the one before that with the mountain bandits and they obviously Shanks got disrespected. Was that 1 for 1? I can't remember exactly how that went.
I think I could have sworn he poured it on his head, if I'm not mistaken, right? In the anime.
Oh yes, yeah.
I think that's how he did it.
And they just let it go, right? So
yeah, I think it was pushed it off the table.
Yeah, and then he splashed it all over him. Yeah, it was good. I didn't have any issues with it. I still enjoyed that scene. I think it hit and it showed you Shanks, and he's like, "Nah, you could do anything to me. That's fine." He just spilled a little bit of alcohol on me, no big deal. But the moment you disrespect his friends or try to harm his friends, then it's a wrap. So I did think that was good.
I will say what I wish they would have did better was that moment in that part where he's holding the gun to Shanks' head and he said, you don't pull up a gun unless you're gonna use it. They didn't really execute that one as well as the anime did. I wish they did that one better because that was a really good moment. But I will say the killing in this, oh my god, bro. Yo, they go crazy.
Yeah.
I had 2 more pros.
Go for it.
My bad for cutting you off. I was wondering if they were gonna put "We Are" in here, and it did come. I don't remember exactly where it was, but I do remember hearing it. So that was cool. I mean, I don't know how you could do One Piece without "We Are." So
that's what I was saying too.
It was a little different rendition, but I'm glad that it got in there in some form or fashion.
Just to touch on that before you move on, sorry. Also, the when they did the walk to Arlong, I wish they would have put the drums in there, man. Oh my god, I was praying for the dun. Oh man, I would have flipped.
Well, since we're on that scene, what'd you guys think of the scene? Go ahead. What'd you guys think of the scene?
I mean, I thought it was good. It was obviously nighttime, which is the difference. I thought it seemed like they were trying to do a 1-to-1 with the Nami interaction. Because I'm talking like to the way she grabbed her arm was like her hand placement was perfect. To her holding her, it was like they tried to 1-to-1 that scene. And then Luffy walks off and he says it like 3 times. So he said, "Of course I will. Of course I will."
Of course.
I thought it was good. It was good. And then the walk,
that was one thing that kind of bothered me a little bit. It was nighttime a lot in this.
Yeah, because remember, they're not skipping time a lot. They're just doing it like a full day, night, next day, night. Like they're not skipping time.
But I mean, I understand that, but like when main things were happening that happened in the story, that shit was mostly at nighttime.
Maybe there's a reason, like just happening during the job. I don't know.
That shit felt like that Need for Speed game that was always at night.
That's crazy.
There was
yeah.
yeah.
Real quick, just to get my last pro out, and it's actually funny. So I remember watching One Piece, and when we get to Usopp's like story and everything, not to say it's bad in the manga or the anime or anything, but that was always kind of a weaker point for me, like a little boring.
Yeah, me
and
too.
in this, I loved it. Like I don't know, like I
You
just thought it was done
how they
well.
did the villain, or are you saying like Usopp's backstory like on its own?
Just that whole, I don't know if it was 2 episodes or 1, but just everything there. Like,
yeah. Because you know in the original, like his crew comes and they have the big
Mhm.
battle, the like hypnotizing guy,
The
like,
hypnotizer.
all
oh,
of
yeah,
that.
that's probably
Yeah.
why. I don't. Yeah,
And-
that
Yeah,
they
makes
took all
Syrup
that
sense.
out.
Village for me was like, I wouldn't go back
Yeah.
and watch it. It was boring for me. So to see it in live action, I think they did do a better job on it. Yeah,
Yeah.
like Cody mentioned, the hypnotist isn't in here. So
Yeah.
no big deal. Who cares? Like, whatever. Not that big. The transponder snails. Is that in the anime? Is that in the manga?
The ear ones, I've never seen that. Unless I'm just
Right?
blind. Yeah, I've never seen that.
Yeah, I've never seen
that's
that either.
dope, though. That's
That was
dope.
pretty cool. That was pretty cool. And then
Wait.
the transponder snail for the bullhorn when he's yelling at Luffy. I
Yes,
think that's a
bro.
new one too. Though, since we're on the transponder snails, the only thing I didn't like, I wish they would have just kept the para, but they didn't do that. They did some. I
Yeah.
forget the name or
That's
the
just
noise.
that's just because you like that.
I like, bro. That was my
It is
ringtone
dope,
for a
though.
while.
That's
was
One Piece, bro. And then
they should have. Yeah, they should have kept it, man. I think it was some like deep
yeah.
tone type of thing, so I didn't really care for it, but they should have kept the other one. But
Yeah, that was-
I love the way they use the transponder snails, like we said, the earpiece one, the bullhorn one. They had different ones in it, so it was pretty cool. He was feeding the transponder snail. He was like, yeah, that's his pet. Here you go, have some food. So that was cool. I don't think we've ever really seen that. You guys got anything else, real quick?
Are you about to like
Just some
start going or?
No, just some notes that I had, maybe like 2 or 3 more points.
Because I have a bigger one, so I don't know if you want to like rattle yours off.
Okay,
'cause
yeah.
I
Let
have
me
one
get
that kinda,
these
like,
off.
Yeah.
I hope he comes back, bro. But episode 1, the way it opened up with the map and the narrator. The narrator is Ian McShane. If you guys don't know his the name, it's the hotel manager from John Wick. That's the narrator from the first. I heard his voice, man, and I was like, oh hell yeah, bro! I'm all on board. And I wish he would have came back for more episodes and stuff. It was just that beginning part. But if they keep this man as the narrator, that's awesome because I love that actor.
Like I said, the way it's looking, season 2 is looking like it could happen. And if they do,
Yeah.
I really do wish that they do an intro and they do an outro. And obviously the to be continues. But yeah, they could for sure do an intro with him over it.
They hinted at it with Smoker, huh?
Yeah, but
They did, yeah.
But that's not necessarily a cliffhanger. That's just that could be just an ending. That's, you know what I mean? Because it's One Piece.
Well, not a cliffhanger, but I don't think you throw something in like that if you don't have plans.
I mean, because it's One Piece. You like that's already how the story goes. So to say that, like, did you know what I'm saying? Like, it's One Piece. We already know it's coming. So is it really like that bad to do that?
I'm not saying it's.
No, like
Go
not
ahead.
bad to the story. I didn't mean like bad as in it's a bad thing to do. Like I'm saying like to end us like a 1 season show off like that. Is that really bad? Even though
J-Mac, I'm gonna come back to that point. You go ahead and say your stuff.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I think unnecessarily. I think it was just a teaser. You know, like, hey, like, if we do a season 2, look, here's a back shot of Smoker. Which, by the way, and unless they show us the whole thing, like, we'll see. But the wig looked a little bit off for me. It looked a little too That's another thing real quick. The wigs in this weren't that great. Like, they were a little bit too bulky, a little too standout-ish, but they weren't that bad. But they could have done a better job on the wigs. So hopefully they fix that in the next one. But yeah, that Smoker shot was cool to see. Obviously, it's him. You guys know me; I like Smoker, so I'm excited to see the next part. Moving on to Alabasta too. My boy Croc is my favorite One Piece character of all time. I can't wait to see him. What was I gonna say on? Mr. Seven. What'd you guys think of the Mr. Seven thing? Like, I thought we were gonna go into a little bit of Alabasta because we saw that little leak scene, but no.
No, because that was like already a thing that was known. It was an off-screen fight. They just showed us an off-screen fight, basically.
So that took place before he even met Luffy in the manga and the anime. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. That's crazy. That's crazy. That was pretty cool. Baroque works. You see the crowd? Hey, yo, Baroque works. That was cool to see. Real quick notes before we get into the big things Jet wanted to talk about. The eye shots in the Morgan fight, like it kind of like a little homage to the anime. You know how they like to drag things out in the anime, like they zoomed in on the eyes and stuff like that on that Morgan fight. I thought that was pretty cool to see. The Kuro and the Mary scene when he killed Mary, bro. I thought that was such a cool scene. It looked scary. God. It looked menacing.
Yes, bro, I'm telling you.
Yeah, that was such a cool scene. That was awesome. I really enjoyed that. What'd you guys think of? And they only did it maybe like the first 2 episodes. Nami was a little bit of a badass. She could fight, and from what I remember, she wasn't like that.
Well, she was. I wouldn't say she was able to fight, but she was able to defend herself against normal people, like nothing crazy.
Okay, she was whooping some Marines' ass with the staff, bro. Like she was. Oh, and then she threw the staff. I forget what scene, but she threw the. Oh, it was Buggy. It was on Buggy, and she saved Luffy. She threw the staff at the thing, and it came right back. Come on, that was unbelievable. That was a little whack. And then the last thing I think I have. Oh, Nami was reading a little Easter egg. Nami was reading Nolan the Liar to Zoro. That was pretty cool.
Okay. So, I forgot. We got to touch on this. So the changes to the story this is why I kind of feel like they're not going to keep going, because the changes that they're making are changes like they're basically taking stuff from the future and bringing it here. Like, and this, I know I'm wrong now because I had heard it correctly. When Sanji first started talking to Luffy, he started calling him Chore Boy, like he did in the anime, but I was hearing Joy Boy.
Yes. I heard that the first time. And I was like, no, he said Chore Boy. And so I had to go back, turn on closed captions, and no, he said Chore Boy. Okay. But I heard Joy Boy for a second. I was like, oh, what the fuck? Joy Boy.
But yeah, like they just, like, for instance, Luffy calling him the stuff that had pirates. They were talking, like you said, the Nolan the Liar, like that's stuff that's going to happen in Skypiea, which is literally right after Alabasta. So if they were to keep going, like, how are you gonna? But like, I don't know. Well,
we'll see, because I mean, they obviously had a direction for this season, and early reviews. I watched Tekking's a little bit. He enjoyed. This is, I think, most people just have seen like an episode 1. Maybe I'll check later tonight to see if they did the whole thing. But Tekking enjoyed season 1. He was ecstatic about it. I think the other reviews that I've seen, they really enjoyed it. Like I sent you guys a screenshot. This is the greatest live action anime that we have. So I think this is going to be a success, man. And it's hopefully just more seasons, and Oda's comes back and just has a direction, because they're obviously taking their own liberties from it. So as long as it keeps working, then we're on board for it.
Also, to touch on that, them bringing stuff from the future, like we basically told everybody that Garp and Luffy are related. Like,
that was we didn't see that
for like a couple hundred episodes. So it's like you're bringing that early. So if they go to Water 7, which I hope they do, how are you going to do that scene again? Are you just not going to do that scene with, I don't know.
Yeah. A lot. So what the scenes that I was seeing, the trailers and the people that I was watching, they're doing all this because they don't even know if they're going to get a next season. So they're doing this now just for people to kind of see. So they're like, hey, just use stuff that we is from the future, because One Piece has a lot of great stuff, and I guess they're like, let's use it now. That's fine. Who knows if we get these seasons later on? So let's just throw it in here. So I kind of agree with that.
That could be why they put Garp in so much, just to show like Luffy's related to one. I guess
it's Netflix, man. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. So they got to use like some of the best elements that One Piece has to offer. But I think we went through everything on my list. So Jet, if you're ready to go ahead and go, what you got?
Yeah. So I don't remember what day that was or whatever. I don't even remember why you said it, but you had brought up how it got basically proven that it was for new fans.
Yeah.
And when you said that, there was kind of like a tone switch for me, because like I already had that belief. Like me and Cody had that argument, so I was already of that belief. But once you confirmed it, I went into it with the mindset that like this is for me to watch as a One Piece fan, but this is not truly for me. Like
Exactly.
what is for me is all those blades of grass that Oda has taken care of and mowed, and that's his, like that's his child. Like the manga is for me, like all the backstories, all the intricacies and the plot and everything. Like that's what I am supposed to consume. This is to bring fans into One Piece, and or this is to introduce new people to One Piece in hopes that they go consume what I already have consumed. And so with that being in mind, I think it completed the job that it set out to do, because if I'm pleased with it, I can only imagine somebody else that's watching it for the first time, because and I take that mindset because like I think the example that you had was Cowboy Bebop. You had never seen Cowboy Bebop, the anime, but you liked the live action. And I think that happens most times. Like if you know you watch the live action of something and you haven't seen the anime, you're either more lenient on it, or you probably like it just because you don't know the source material, so there's not much to take from it. Um, and so if I'm enjoying it this much, I can only imagine someone that's being introduced to One Piece for the first time. So that I think it completed the job that it set out to do.
I just wanted to say what Justin's talking about. We watched one of the videos of Inaki, and he brought up the fact that this was made for new people.
Yeah, it was one of those little reaction things.
Yeah.
Like Jet mentioned, if you guys enjoyed this, go watch the anime, because they did a good job on this. But you're gonna get a lot more of the backstories. You're gonna get a lot more time with the characters to develop. You're just gonna love these characters a little bit more. So if you guys already enjoyed this, go watch the anime, go read the manga. You guys are gonna love that even more, in my opinion. But if you guys don't, and you guys you want to stick along for the ride, I mean, hey, they're doing a good job with this, so you have that to watch. Another thing I was gonna bring up, Cody, you got anything real quick, or do you want to talk about anything? No, you're good. Jet, anything else?
Not currently, no.
Oh man, I had the idea in my head. I just lost it. But no, yeah, like this was such a good adaptation, and obviously there wasn't such a high bar to climb with live actions. So this exceeded that. But with that being said, even if there was like a definitive number one and live actions were good, I think this still beats any of that stuff. Like this was done extremely well. The characters were awesome. The world was awesome. We had a good time watching it. I had a good time watching it. I'm excited. I'm excited for season 2. Hopefully they can add those little touches in there, like to be continued. They fix up some of the CGI. They fix up some of the set pieces, not the set pieces, like the wigs and stuff like that. Just a little stuff. Because they did a phenomenal job. Any other thoughts?
I will say, I hope it does keep going. I hope there is a season 2, 3, 4. I hope it keeps going. I will say it will start getting tricky the more they go, because it just, the craziness just keeps on going, and it just keeps ramping up. Like when we have like let's just say for conversation, they get renewed for 5 seasons, and in that 4th or 5th season they get to Brook. What the hell is that gonna look like? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What is Chopper gonna look like?
I was gonna say, what is Chopper gonna look like? What is Frankie, bro? Can you imagine this big hulking robot?
Becomes a robot, yeah, bro. But I'm saying the way that they're pacing it, it can be done.
That was my point. You said pace.
Yeah, go ahead.
You said pacing. If you guys haven't seen it and you guys are like, hey, One Piece is too long, there's a thing called One Pace, right? And they take out all the filler. This is kind of like, you go watch this because they did a good job on that, and it's straight and to the point. You get a little bit of the backstories. you get the arcs. Like I said, the arcs aren't full in depth, but you get a couple episodes. I think the Kuro episodes were like 2 episodes. Arlong's was 2 episodes. Everything else was 1 episode. So this was kind of like that One Piece in live action form. So if you guys are struggling to go watch One Piece, because I know that's a thing, like over what is it, like almost 1,100 episodes. Yeah, right. 1071 was just like that monumental moment. So go watch this. Get on board with this. See if you guys like this, and if you do, hey, consume One Piece to your heart's content, because there is so much out there for you guys. You got the manga, you got the anime. For me, I got the dub. Like I said, I finished the sub. I'm going to watching the dub now. Like I just love One Piece. So I'm excited for this. Excited for season 2.
Yeah, I know what they're calling it, right?
What?
The new big 3. The anime, the manga, and the live action, bro.
Name another property that has that can say that. Not yet. It was because Bleach has something, right? Bleach has a live action and it wasn't good.
It's not,
bro.
good.
No,
It wasn't good. It wasn't good. What Naruto? I think Jan just told us something, right?
Yeah, they announced that they're making one.
You guys, I saw a crazy story. So apparently, Mark from RDC, they approached him to make a Naruto movie, like to direct it. But like he was telling him, like, okay, well, if I do this, like, there has to be this, and this, and it being like, I don't know if it was Universal or whatever, but it's like one of those big companies. They were kind of telling him like how they want to tell the story, and he was like, "Nah, it's gonna be trash."
I'm telling you, I'm telling you how to tell this. Okay, dang, that's crazy. I mean, what do you guys think? Can Mark do that? Let's just like, I mean, Mark's a big fan like of anime, right? That's like somebody coming up to Cody, hey, Cody, can you direct this? You think we have faith in just like a fan to direct something like that?
Him of all people, yes. He has a track record of making his own work, which is good, obviously. So imagine a studio backing him. Imagine the things they can do with a studio.
Zero, and people are just, if the studio's telling him how to make it, no, man, it's not gonna work. Oda was involved in this, and it worked. I think Jet sent us the TikTok of the director or the writer, and how he wanted to be attached to this, and he wanted to get the job interviewed, and he was just a fan of One Piece. He's like, hey, if you guys put somebody else, it's not going to work. Like, put me in. I'm a fan. I can make it work. And obviously, all these pieces that they put in motion and they set, it worked, man. It's from the cast to the writers to the directors, everything worked. And this is how success is done, man. Like, everybody else takes note. Hopefully this Naruto turns out to be good, because hey, you guys just seen what happened, man. Get your creators involved, get the directors involved, get the writers involved. People got to be fans of this. People got to be fans. They got to love the properties, man, because if they don't, and it's just something that, they're trying to put together, it's not going to work, as many times we've seen before. So we enjoyed One Piece. Any final thoughts, boys, before we head on out?
How about I give you some private lessons? Remember that?
You tried it. Sanji killed it, man. If you guys haven't seen it, go watch it, because I think, in our opinion, it was a huge success. We're excited for the future. Cody just said the big 3. Name something else that can do it. We appreciate you guys watching the video with us. Like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. Go watch One Piece, man. It's a good time to be a One Piece fan. 1071 just dropped a couple weeks ago. It's a good time to be a One Piece fan. So go, you guys get into it. We appreciate you guys watching it with us. Make sure you guys stay tuned for the next episode.